Ladies and gentlemen, Seahawks fans of all ages, welcome back to the 12 Talk podcast for our big season preview. We've got some amazing stuff coming for you today. We're going to be looking at players to watch on both sides of the ball. Mitch has got his rookie watch. He's getting that hat back on because he's our draft guru. We're going to be looking at surprise packages, players that are going to shine when people may not think about them shining. We're also going to look at which side of the ball intrigues us the most. Is it going to be Grubb's offense, Coach Mike's defense? Is it going to be a hardball special team? Who knows? Let's talk about it. We're also going to talk about what other opening weekend games that we're really intrigued by. So let us know. We'll give you some score predictions, and we have some Discord member musings as well. And we announce our official charity partner for the pod. Without further ado, Mitch, shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. There you go. Little flavour for what we're going to announce in a bit as well. But as we're rocking out the throwbacks to start off the season, what a way to start the season, by the way. Eh?
Like, I love the idea of doing the throwbacks on day one. Absolutely amazing. I think all the fans love it. What a great surprise! Chucking that bit of news in a couple of days before the season started. And was that leaked at all? I can't remember hearing anything. It feels like a very well-kept secret for once.
I think it was just they announced it and there was nothing else coming out. Like, by all means, if you're watching this live, thank you so much. If you've got any questions to go along with our Discord questions at the end, we will chuck them in as we always do, because we host this pod, but you guys are always part of it as well. But Mitch, how are we doing? We haven't spoke since our last pod. Well, we message pretty much every single day like a married couple, but tell everyone else how you're doing.
I'm really good. I stayed up to watch a fair bit of last night's action on opening day and saw Mr. Likely looking like a serious contender for the NFL's best tight end this year. If he plays like that all year, unreal. I'm hyped that it's all back. I'm really excited for our matchup, because I think that's quite a kind start. Broncos at home, rookie quarterback, yeah, against Mike McDonald. I think our first game, in fact, the first three games look quite nicely selected for us. So yeah, no, I'm hyped. I mean, it's only going to come crashing down when we start playing teams like the Dolphins, right?
Oh, you have little faith. We'll be fine.
Hey, we know we're in for a rocky year. I think we're going to see some great stuff as well. So excited. That's how I'm feeling. Excited.
Yeah, dude, I'm so pumped for this. I mean, I'm going to be watching it, and then I've got to drive all the way up to the north of England the following day at like 7 a.m. But it's not going to stop me watching it. And it's not going to stop us doing a podcast whilst I'm away with work, because we've got the amazing Jackson Bevans on from Cigar Thoughts. And that pod will be dropping on Monday evening UK time, so around Monday lunchtime-ish, if you're in the Pacific Northwest. If you've got questions, by all means, get into our Discord. The man of the Discord's there. My design choice there has gone completely wrong. Look at that. You can't even see Discord. Rookie error. Rookie error. However, if you want to see more of those rookie errors, you could always like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll see us every single time we're here. It's just like such an exciting time. Football's back. It's like my 4-year-old who is now cognizant enough to know what Christmas is. That's the excitement I'm feeling. In fact, I think I'm more excited than I would be for the jolly fat man coming down the chimney. He's still alive in my house. Yeah. And what?
Not Jason Peters.
No. He is jolly. I wouldn't call him fat to his face because he's an absolute monster. But yeah, let's get into it anyway. So as always, we are so proud to be the official podcast of the UK Seahawkers. If there's any UK Seahawkers watching, welcome. If you're not, by all means, hit us up on our social media. We are part of Instagram, X, Facebook group. You'll see us posting on the UK Seahawk fans Facebook all the time. If you want to become a UK Seahawk, you've not got to be from the UK. It's £12 for an individual, £20 for a family of up to 4 people at the same address. It's free postage inside the UK, £5 postage per membership outside the UK. You get access to our meetups, which is in Glasgow. If anyone knows a good bar to go to, please let us know, because we're still looking around the city. 10% off at the pro shop, chance to win field passes for games. There's members-only competitions. There's so much. It's a great little community as well. And this year, you get some great goodies. You get your wristband, which I wear every day. You also get your throwback patch, which you can pop on your throwback jersey, if you so wish. Yeah. You get your membership card, and this year's an RFD card as well, which stops your cards getting scanned if you're in dodgy areas. And because a lot of our listeners, watchers and friends are from the German Seahawkers, we'd like to give them a shout out as well. You can join them for €15, which is approximately £12.68 or $16.06, depending on the exchange rate, which I have no idea what that is at the moment. You access the Seahawkers tailgate zones, the Ticketmaster tailgate. You get a 10% discount at the Pro Shop as well. Raffles, competitions, exclusive articles, and discounts as well. Go to their website, Google Translate it. Fantastic stuff to get you through your lunch break as well. And they're also an amazing group of guys. You know, I had the chance to meet 2 of them in London for drinks, and they're fantastic fellas. And this pod is presented to you by Wraith Energy. We have teamed up with Wraith. Gets us through those late nights, especially if you're a UK European Seahawks fan, having to stay up till who knows what o'clock to watch a game. And if you're in our shoes, you have to write notes as well. So you need to at least be awake. It's fantastic. I don't get the massive sugar crash I get when I have like Red Bull or anything. It's a nice, good pick me up. Great pre-workout as well if you take it just before your workout. Comes in a variety of flavors. You can get your sample packs. You can get the big tubs. They also now do caffeine-free hydration drinks. And if you can have a bottle like mine, or Mitch with his new fancy Wraith bottle. Yeah. So email is soon to go into them to ask for a Seahawks coloured one. Now, we have alluded to this for the past few episodes as well. As a pod that is non-profit, anyone that does come into our pod via referrals or sponsorship either goes to keep the lights on at the pod, or now 25% of anything we make is going to our chosen charity. It's a charity that's really close to my heart because I've seen it from its inception. I'm really, really proud to say that we are now proudly supporting the Robin Cancer Trust. If you do not know who the Robin Cancer Trust are, allow me to give you a little bit of background. So the RCT, the Robin Cancer Trust, was started in 2012 by the Freeman family. So Toby, who was the chairman of Robin Cancer Trust, a really good friend of mine. Unfortunately, they lost Toby's brother, their son, Robin, at the age of 24. He was diagnosed with, I can never get this right, and Toby's told me so many times. It's a mediastil germ cell tumor in his chest in 2011. Unfortunately, he passed sort of about 10 months when they said there was no treatment. They set up this charity to help other people to spot the signs of germ cell cancer, which is testicular, ovarian cancer. They have some fantastic campaigns. They're currently the UK's germ cell cancer community, and their mission is to stop young people from dying from germ cell cancer. It's a really worthy cause that we're so proud to help raise awareness for. And if you want to sort of contribute, raise awareness, anything like that, head over to their website. It's the robincancertrust.org. We'll be shouting them out multiple times. They have engaged with hundreds of thousands of people across the UK and the world. They do life-saving talks in universities, schools, colleges, and just so you know, anything that is donated to them, if you just put 12 talk in there, they know exactly where you came from, and it helps them so much. Just for example, £10 helps raise online awareness, and that reaches thousands of people. £25 directly educates 200 students in the signs and symptoms of germ cell cancer. £50 provides support to an individual or family affected by germ cell cancer, or another £50 again allows them to deliver a life-saving educational talk to a school, a college, university, or a company. I can't speak highly enough of them, having seen the pain that the family went through on a personal level and the growth that this charity's had. We're so proud to be supporting them, so proud to be raising awareness. And also, I love the fact, as a germ cell cancer charity, they don't take themselves too seriously. They've got some really catchy slogans. So one of the two of their main campaigns at the moment is, the only time you'll hear me swearing is hashtag talking bollocks, which is all about raising testicular cancer awareness. And there's also not overreacting, which is all about ovarian cancer. Check out their website again. Like I said, click on, they've got various subheadings that will tell you everything. It gives you a guide of how to check and what to do if you spot symptoms. There you go. That is our charity. They're going to be with us all season. If you want to give as much or as little as you can, greatly appreciated. And anything that comes into our pod, we will be giving 25% of all of that to them as well, to help raise that awareness. So, Mitch, I'm going to hand over to you as master of ceremonies.
Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's talk some football. So, we're going to talk first about players to watch out for this year. So, we're both going to pick a offensive and defensive player, and talk a little bit about why we think this is the year to be watching out for that specific player. And I want to talk about Draymond Jones first.
Okay.
Draymond Jones is a guy who's taken a bit of flack, I think, from the fans. I think we paid a lot of money to him. He's had his extension as well and rework this offseason, when people were already looking at him as potentially a casualty on this roster. But this organization has doubled down on their trust in him. And what I see when I look at Draymond Jones is a really, really versatile defensive weapon. On that defensive line, he can occupy 3 or 4 different positions in so many different looks, which just adds to the disguise, right? And I genuinely think that the decision for Darryl Taylor to go was basically due to the fact that his new weight and look and sort of the resharpening of that toolkit in the offseason to be an edge rusher, as well as his other normal jobs, I think that's gone so well, and they've been so impressed that they feel like they don't need to carry as many edge rushers on this roster. So I really think that Draymond Jones is going to look a different player in this system.
I like it.
And my offensive player to look out for, I'm actually going to mention Jake Bobo here. I think Jake Bobo. Yeah, Jake Bobo's a guy. Jake Bobo's a guy who's had his success at college level and NFL level now, based on getting himself open using the subtleties of the game. You know, the eye discipline and the fake outs and high quality movement and body control, and he does all those things so well, but lacks that explosive speed and the twitchiness. This offensive scheme with Grubb is designed to get players open. He's already doing all the small things to get open anyway. I feel like he's going to be a glaring beacon, open so often when our big name targets, the Noah Fants, the DK Metcalfs, the Lockett's, when they're locked up or attracting more attention, Bobo's going to be more open than ever. So Draymond Jones, Jake Bobo are my guys this year for some serious eye-popping and noteworthy play.
Nice. I like it. Both of those. Yeah, totally agree with. I'm going to go defensively. Our boy, True Drew Sports, has hit the nail on the head there. Tyrell Dodson. I am so intrigued to see if he can carry on what he started with Buffalo, and if the the flashes he showed there are the player he is consistently. Because if it is, I think him and Jerome Baker as a middle linebacker duo could be absolutely fantastic. I think Baker's going to command a bit more respect, especially towards the line because of his rushing ability. But then you can't take that away from Dodson as well, because we've seen he's got coverage ability, he's got the speed, he's got sideline to sideline. He's a hitter. We've seen that as well. I also think that there could be some sneaky plays with him hitting through a gap, because we saw in the preseason as well when he was playing that he played so close to the line behind one of the defensive tackles that the option was for him to either go forwards or backwards. So, yeah, he's my man to watch on the defense. Offensively, I'm going to go for really low-hanging fruit, but I'm so intrigued to see how it goes with him. Gino.
Oh, okay.
There were so many I could have picked from, but like I said, low-hanging fruit. I think Gino last year was effective, but was really let down by play calling and a complete lack of protection. I think he was let down by the lack of levels as well in the throws and the routes run. It was literally, you can do this. I think his check down, even the check downs that he was given weren't really options because they were so easily telegraphed that he couldn't actually get it to anyone. I think with a grub offense, being able to utilize every weapon he's got, Gino is going to be on for a stellar year. If he hits the ground running like he did on that first drive against the Browns, just full command, knowing exactly who's open, well, not even knowing who's open, seeing so many people open and having those options, being able to have that full trust in his receivers, his running backs, his tight ends. Noah Fant very nearly made it onto this list, by the way. He was this far away. I think Gino is on for an absolutely stellar year. If this grub offense clicks, Gino could be on for another Pro Bowl year.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah.
I agree with both of those. I think True Drew Sports mentioned JSN. I think JSN, yeah, there you go. JSN is, there's a level of JSN that is yet to be unlocked in this team. And I honestly think if we see it this year, it's just going to really help Grubb's offense kick into fifth gear real fast. He is such an incredible weapon, and we've heard a lot this week in interviews about establishing the run game first. Well, JSN's availability across the middle of the field in the slot is going to achieve the same thing that establishing that run game is going to establish, bringing the safeties up, allowing us to take the top off with the later plays. So I think getting JSN involved early could be a massive part of how we start games.
Yeah, I think we said this a few weeks ago, and I think there's other podcasts that have said it as well, where we see sort of midway through the season, the majority of targets that go to Lockett become JSN's targets, and there seems to be a general consensus now. I'd love to go back and sort of see how long ago we said this, but I think that's going to be a massive thing. I think as well what DK said about the fact that he's going to be dangerous wherever they move him. That could be the slot, could be the X, the Y. It doesn't really matter. You know, I think the JSN is going to have so much more opportunity to get some decent ball here as well. It's just exciting.
It's really exciting. We could have picked about 5 or 6 players each on this at least.
But keep it to an hour. We've got the members of the Discord there. They've given us some fantastic questions and points as well, so we need to get to them. But before we do that, Mitch, it's your favourite. It's Rookie Watch.
Rookie Watch.
I'm going to get Slim Jennings to do a Rookie Watch theme that can just play for 5 or 10 seconds whenever this comes up, because I know it's going to be something that we're going to do all throughout the season. So here we go. Mitch's Rookie Watch. I'm just going to redub it. Mitch's Rookie Watch with the squinty eyes. That's basically just a cartoon version of my eyes.
Yeah, I'm just going to mention a few rookies to look out for this week. Players players that you've seen us talk about and wax lyrical about in the combine and in our draft pods and things. Not necessarily players that landed on our roster, players around the league that that we're invested in. Not every player that we're high on ends up as a Seahawk. I mean, you were massively high on Latu, weren't you? And
my boy, it's a Colt.
Yeah, Quinion Mitchell was a player I loved as well, and we're going to get to see him tonight really soon. I mean, he's playing for the Eagles tonight. I think that's going to be a really interesting one, especially with Love and the targets that he's got for the Packers. And we're going to see Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell in that secondary for Philadelphia tonight. So that's really exciting. They're two very different DBs as well. We talked about it. We waxed lyrical about both of their skill sets, but Quinion Mitchell is a serious competitor, and he is physical, and he is going to remind people of Devin Witherspoon when he first started with the Seahawks, where he was hitting everyone. Expect to see gum shields flying and cracked helmets.
So high on him. I love it.
Mate, honestly, I'm not seeing Devin Witherspoon clapping people, so I need to see some Quinion Mitchell, and then Cooper DeJean as well, who's a real technician, ball hawking in there, and just so sticky as well. Honestly, that secondary is so watchable now. And who are they up against?
Want it to be.
I know, but they're up against the Packers, who were they were gashing everyone with corner sideline to sideline. And Love was he was so accurate towards the back end of last year. That playoff run they went on, he was amazing. So that game tonight is electric for me in terms of rookies and whatnot.
I think from a Seahawks point of view, because we could talk about the Eagles all night.
We could,
but we're a Seahawks pod, and I don't want to think about the embarrassment of riches that they drafted in their secondary, because it hurts me. Seahawks rookies.
Yeah, Byron Murphy. We've got our own embarrassment of riches on that D line now. And Byron Murphy is the centerpiece. Well, he won't. I don't think he'd start as the centerpiece of it, but I think he will work his way in there into every package we put. Again, like Draymond Jones, so movable. He's an end. He's a nose. He's a 3-tech defensive end. He's a defensive tackle. They'll drop him into coverage on fourth downs, potentially, or there's all kinds of stuff they're going to do with him. We're going to see him everywhere. That's going to be electric. And just how much are we going to see of him in week 1 is a great question as well. We all hope lots, but in a weird way, we don't need to. I hope we don't need to. I hope Leonard Williams, is wreaking havoc, and I hope Draymond Jones is out there doing his thing. And
I hope Jaron Reed gets 3 sacks.
Well, do you remember how he started the year last year? He was an animal, straight, because there were these questions over what does nose tackle look like now, and we were putting a guy in there that we were used to seeing as a big end or a defensive tackle.
Yeah,
and he was a monster early doors last year. So
I think you've also got to look at when people talk nose tackle. In my opinion, there are 2 specific types of nose tackle. You have your Jonathan Hankins, stuff the run nose tackle. That is your job. You're going to collapse the pocket. You're going to stop that run. That's your job. You're not going to dart through. So look at Jaron Reed's sack, where he ended up. I think didn't he come back around Williams?
Yeah, he stunted round, yeah.
Yeah, he stunted back round to get back through the middle. So that, from a nose tackle, fantastic. Having that athleticism, being able to change that direction, hit that gap, and go straight for the quarterback, brilliant. I'm looking forward to that. I think he's going to be, well, Murphy's already said that. Reed's put his arm around him, so's Big Cat, so that's exciting. Tyrese Knight, I think, will get some reps in this game as well. I think when they start shifting people out, I think he's really high. I think Mike Mack's really, really high on him. And we just sort of flashes of what he can do.
He's an interesting one because I think a lot of people, including a lot of draft experts and ex-players, and a lot of people had been a bit reserved on what they were really expecting and predicting out of Tyrese Knight. But I think he had as good a preseason process and camp as anybody. And I think everyone that watched him in preseason saw at least a guy who's going to feature every game day if he's fit in some of the looks and packages. And he's looked so instinctive and solid in his technique. I think that those are the two things you see from him. He's stout and he's sniffing things out real quick. He's got an air of KJ Wright about him, with the right place, right time, because he knew it before it happened and put himself. You can't teach that. That either comes after years of being in the league, or you have it. And he's got it. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see him a lot. And I didn't think he'd feature. And that is a room that needed an NFL ready prospect, and we didn't think we got one, but I think we did.
I think we did as well. I think we should move on to the surprise package. I'm going to put an honourable mention out here as well from our friend again, True Drew Sports.
Yeah, I just thought that.
That's just covering your face here. Sorry.
Thank you.
Not a rookie, but second-year player Brady Russell. I love this guy. I'm sorry. I think everything he brings is just. I was watching the Sound, the latest episode where they talk about him and the fit he came to at Tennessee. The plaid dungarees. Oh, mwah, what a guy! He just doesn't care. He's there for fun. He's there because he knows his job. He's had to fight for his position. Yes, I'd love to see more of Brady Russell in this offense because I think he offers a lot. Mitch, would you like to go with your surprise package first, or do you want me to? Because then I can basically tick off the one that you were going to do, and you can go through whoever else.
Well, I mean, I've already spoken about a couple of the ones that I was going to save for this anyway. I'm actually going to speak a little bit about D. Williams.
Oh, nice.
Because a lot of people are already surprised that he even made the roster. And when was the last time we saw someone who was a player who could play both sides of the ball, making the roster, like not just being on the practice squad? I mean, this guy, granted, you don't want to see him needing to play corner too much. And we're hoping we don't have enough injuries that he ends up playing wide receiver either. But he is a true specialist when it comes to special teams and returns. And I also think that with Mike Mack's system, when you're scrambling the way things look and you're bringing all the pressure, a ball hawk in the backfield that can take it to the house isn't necessarily a bad guy to have on the field. If anyone's going to catch the loose ends from a completely confused rookie quarterback, I don't mind if it's him, because it's going to the house.
See, we were just talking about Brady Russell. I wanted to see him more. So our regular viewer, member of the Discord, UK 12 man. Breaking news: Chenna is out with a knee, which we kind of knew. Pharaoh Brown's still out with his foot. Tyler Lockett is questionable. If he's in your fantasy lineup, you want to rethink that or wait till game day. And Connor Williams still not ready to try, not ready to play. But
I know Connor Williams is ready to go.
He is. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's ready, and everyone else is ready to go.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I need to put my glasses on. I'm just squinting more than usual.
Yeah, you read that as and Connor Williams out, and then everyone else is ready. But yeah, Connor Williams.
Be more specific. Come on.
No, that is a miracle of modern medicine, by the way.
The ACL is just it. I think it's got to a point in the NFL where it happens so much, and I'm not going to bang on about turf because everyone knows how much I hate it. But I think the ACL injuries that are occurring more and more frequently, teams are just getting to a point where they've just gone, pump money into it, get him rehabbed, make it quick, and modern medicine is always moving. So it's got to a point now where the rehab's it's going to keep. I won't say it's going to get to 3 months because it's anterior cruciate ligament. There's no way it's going to prepare in 3 months, but 6 to 8 months, you'll see people training and then playing again. 9 months. Amazing. What a recovery. And what a lead that's going to be on our offensive line. My surprise package. Mitch, this is a man that you pegged as a Seahawk in the NFL draft 2 years ago on another pod that we were on. Shout out to them.
Mr. Mike Morris.
Mr. Mike Morris. Now,
Money Mike.
Yeah, had his whole rookie season just decimated with an injury, which is so unfortunate to see. However, was it a blessing in disguise? And I'm going to ask this to anyone watching. Think about it this way. Mike Morris in Michigan played more 3-tech, sort of 5-tech edge. And he was fantastic because they could move him around on that exterior of the D-line. And he could crash inside, collapse a pocket. He had the power, the presence. He could bull rush. He had the speed as well to get around a tackle and get to a quarterback and stuff a run. When he came to the Seahawks, our ex-defensive coordinator, in all of his infinite wisdom, being an ex-D lineman, said, I want you to get up to 300 pounds or over. And he did. And I'll admit, before I got injured, I think he looked a bit sluggish. Wasn't the player I thought from Michigan because you sent me enough stuff to look at from him. But now he seems to have slimmed down. He is with a coordinator or a head coach who knows how to use him, knows what his talents are. We saw it in the preseason. Mike Morris dropping into coverage and making a textbook breakup. Mike Morris collapsing a pocket. Mike Morris stunting from the edge and crashing through a B gap or an A gap. Mike Morris being double teamed and still driving them back into the quarterback's lap. This is a man who I think, you spoke about Draymond earlier, between him and Draymond, that is going to be a battle all season for who's going to get more reps. I think Coach Mike is going to move that boy around and just utilize him in so many disguises and packages. He could be an unsung hero.
Yeah, you say they'll compete. I think there'll be times where they're both on the field as well because of just how much Draymond can do. Mm-hmm. They'll have him doing the role that Mike Morris would be doing, and then suddenly Mike Morris is on the field doing that role, and then both of them are on the field, and there'll be that kind of, okay, well, what are they? What is this? It will be confusing. We'll be confused watching it until after the snap, and we see we see a quarterback planted into the turf by one of the two of them or both of them.
I cannot wait for Mike Morris's first NFL sack. I will be jumping off myself. I don't think so either. Gary, just a good friend of the show, Gary, Pete Carroll staff wanted him as a defensive tackle. Yes, he did. Didn't understand that. Neither did we. And he wasn't 380, he was 280. And that's where they asked him to get to 300. But
to be fair, I did understand it, and it wasn't necessarily DT. It was more 3-tech defensive end, and moving from 4i to 3 wasn't. I mean, it's a few steps, but the role is very different. You've got an interior offensive lineman battling you for leverage, and they're shorter, stouter, often with long arms, low anchor. You're a taller guy. You've immediately lost the leverage war. You've got to have pass rush moves, super twitchy, really quick off the snap. He needed to be things that he hadn't been before and win in different ways. At a different weight. It was a lot of things to ask a guy to do in their rookie year. Yeah. So I get the concern about it, but I do also see why with that front that we were doing, because we were playing like a bare front. You need maulers. You need 3 big maulers, and that's what they got him to be. And it was a low risk gamble because they got him with such a late pick. Late pick, turn him into a lottery ticket. Can he be this? Because if he does that well, he could potentially play like a 15, 16 million pound player as a interior pass rusher. You pay a lot of money for guys like Chris Jones did it last night. Guy who can stop the run, rush the passer, beat double teams, move around that line and play in 4 or 5 different positions. You pay a lot of money to guys that can do that. So they took a shot on him with a low cost lottery ticket with a late round pick, and they bet on him. It didn't work out, so like you say now, it looks a bit odd. But they took that shot, and he's still versatile and talented enough that Mike Mack, who's worked with him before, can take him on board, slim him down, put him into a similar role to what he did before, and then tap into that versatility and move him around in packages. So nothing lost on that gamble, right?
Nothing. and I think it's a gamble that'll pay off. Just very quick thank you to everyone for tuning in. It really means a lot to us. Also, massive shout out to Bryce Scoops. What's up, Bryce, from the Hawks Zone Rundown? If you guys are watching this, you've not checked out Bryce and Ryan at the Hawks Zone Rundown, fantastic pod. Those guys know their ball. Bryce is a quarterbacks coach himself. Ryan's got some fantastic insight as well. Go check them out. Give them a sub. Brilliant. And we are so glad that we're helping you get through work because your pod helps me get through my work, mate. Right. So without further ado, Mitch, which side of the ball, which side are you looking forward to most? Hit me with it.
I went back and forth on this a lot when we were planning this pod. I'm going to go offense, and my reason for going offense was just how terrible the plans have been over the last few years with the different offensive coordinators we've had. And when I looked at my reasoning for that, I then thought, well, we've had Ken Norton Jr. On the defense, and we've had a lot of sketchy defensive coordination as well as offensive, so it's not a clear-cut reason. But I think that Grubb is going to have a faster impact on this offense than the defensive impact, just because I think it's already motoring and there are established veterans of a very high caliber on that offense to make this work. The only question is of the offensive line, and do they provide Gino enough time to really fully capitalize on what Grubb's giving him. However, Grubb's offense is designed to give you slightly longer windows to make those throws and more space for the weapons to exploit, the extra space. So I'm saying Grubb's offense. I think where we'll have difficult defensive games, busted coverages, and we'll concede a few more points than we should. I think the offense is going to consistently put up. I'm going to call 25 points a game. I think Grubb's offense puts up an average of 25 a game.
Well,
so yeah,
Bryce agrees. He agrees with Mitch. He says excited to see a modern offense that might actually have stuff teams will want to take from us. Oh my goodness! Could you imagine if he runs a play and everyone goes, "What was that?" and then next season we see other people running it? That'd be a first in Seattle, wouldn't it? And True Drew Sports as well. Offense, he's looking for us to control the clock. We've been at the bottom of the league time possession for the last few years. Yes, painfully so. Can I go? Is it me?
Yeah, mate, you can go.
Can I talk? I'm just gonna Gary, defense. Right. For me, it was so hard for me to pick because I agree with everything that you said about the offense. I'm so excited to see what Grubb can do with all his weapons, and let's not gloss around that fact. He has got an abundance, a cornucopia of weapons. Do you like to see? I see that. I've been reading the dictionary. It's my word a day calendar. Comes in handy. I think he Grubb's offense, when it starts clicking, will click hard. But for me, the defense, I am anticipating a rocky road to start with because the installs, as good as a teacher as Coach Mike is, and people say they've got it down, there's always going to be confusion when you have a new scheme coming in, especially with how complex this is with the shifts and the various sort of coverages and sort of when it goes to man and zone and all the mixes. But I think, again, when it clicks, it's going to be better than what the Ravens had, because I think maybe not this season, especially next season, when Coach Mike's really got to grips with who he's got, who can do what, and he starts shifting pieces around and bringing more people in. I'm so excited to see it. Do you know that the big thing that got me this preseason, every single game I watched and did not scream or want to throw something at my TV for missed tackles. That's right. I'm bringing it into the pod, Mitch, because it has to be said. I mean, I'm doing a defensive talk. Just tackling. The fact that we had reports of them practicing tackling and it shows on the field. It's weird. Whatever you train on the coaching paddock is effective on the field as well. So for me, defense.
Colour me surprised that you mentioned missed tackles on our pod. But I mean, it's very relevant. I mean, it's very relevant. I was reading Charlie Wilson's piece from for the Mirror, which for any American listeners is a tabloid newspaper. Our friend Charlie Wilson, who's been on our pod, writes for them for the NFL, I think the NBA and the UFC. Is that right? Are those the three? I know definitely the UFC and the NFL. I think it's the NBA as well.
Just quick plug. If you don't know where it is and you want to find it,
it's in our Discord. That's correct.
Join the Discord. Where am I pointing? Oh, I hate this camera.
I'll get it
one day. I was really good at it one day. That way.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Charlie very kindly put it on our Discord. He's a fantastic member to have in there as well. He gives us some great insight, and he's put that story in there. Join the Discord. The link will be in the description below. But Mitch, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say he wrote a piece on Aiden Durday, and there's a lot of interviews in there with people he's worked with in the past in the UK and in America. And one of the quotes that Charlie put in there was really interesting about Aiden Durday, and I think it was the CEO of the NFL UK had put about just how incredible Aiden Durday is at breaking down complicated schemes into bite-sized parts that you can coach very easily. He's really adept at just simplifying really, really complicated things and coaching them to a high level. I think there's an awful lot of coaches that rely on being highly motivational or having a history of playing in the NFL and people follow them because of, them being a Hall of Fame or whatever. Aiden Durday has got there by being extremely good at what he does. And I think they have accepted him, but I think once he's really comfortable in that environment, I think he's going to become a master of coaching Mike Mack's scheme. And I think that is exactly why he's been put right where he is.
I agree. I don't even need to expound on that because I think you've done it fantastically. I'm very conscious that we've got a lot to go through now, and the next bit is
the best bit.
Other games you may want to watch instead, or as well as the Seahawks. Go on, Mitch. Give us your quick one. I know you had one in mind, and then you dithered.
Colts and Texans, which is a weird one to shout out. I just really like the two rookie quarterbacks at 6:00. So if you're burning time before our game at 9, you get to watch CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson gunslinging. There's also some really nice rookies that we talked about a lot that are going to feature in that game.
For me, it's Lions versus Rams. It's two quarterbacks playing against their previous teams. Can Matt Stafford recapture his heyday of taking the Lions to the Super Bowl? I hope not. Can Jared Goff continue his upward trajectory that earned him this contract with his fantastic weapons and Dan Campbell's sort of like the whole ethos of that team? I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Lions. If an NFC team gets into the Super Bowl, I quite like it to be them. And I think they've had some wins in the last two drafts. I think they've drafted really well. I think they're just both pain to say about the Rams. McVay coaches some of these rookies that weren't very highly touted and brings the best out of them. I think that Detroit have just brought in some fantastic players. So there you go. There's two games to watch for you. Oh, this bit. Score predictions, Mitch.
I think we're going to put up more than 25. And I think we'll keep them below 15.
No. I'm not having that.
You want me to go to exact score?
I'm going to write it down. You ready?
Okay, we'll concede 1 touchdown, 2 field goals. Call that 13. And we're going to put up two touchdowns and 3 field goals, which will be... Oh, hang on, does that come out at 23?
Depends. Are we getting the extra points?
Let's go 30. We're going 30. 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals. We'll go 30.
Ooh, okay.
30 to 13. Wow, that's a whopping start.
I am going to go for Denver 20, because I think with this new defense in the first game, I think there's a high possibility we'll let in 2 converted touchdowns plus 2 field goals. And I think we might end up on 21, 30. So I'm with you. 20 points to 30, but I got mine as in 3 touchdowns and 3 converted touchdowns, 3 field goals.
Nice. We've had a few suggestions for different scores in the chat. We've got Gary, Bryce, Jonas Meister. Welcome, Jonas.
Hey, Jonas. Right, so let's go. True Drew Sports 27-13 to Seattle. I hope that's to Seattle anyway. Jonas 28-13. Bryce 30-10. Oh. Gary 28-14. I will be listening back to this. And our friend UK 12th man is I keep covering your face, Mitch. I'm sorry. Is 20 points to 17 because I love panicking.
That's so typical Seahawks as well. The nail biter, unnecessary heart attack. So
from Jonas, as he's told me over message, Spoon is going to pick off Nix twice and Murphy with 2 sacks. And he wants that purely because Spoon is on his fantasy team and he's playing me in the first game of our 12 Talk Best Ball Fantasy. Yeah, cheers, Jonas. Right, so we've been through loads of your comments. Thank you so much for interacting. Keep them coming. Those of you, I think the majority of people that are watching this are members of our Discord. So shall we get to what I've called our Discord member musings? Purely because I love alliteration. That's all it is. Let's go through these. There's been some outstanding ones, and I am going to save what I think is the best discussion point till last. Here we go. So, UK 12th man, everyone can now see what your tag is as well on the Discord. The lockdown cornerback. Definitely not. My concern to the O-line isn't good enough yet, especially with Abe Lucas having no need to allow our defense to shine, and whether we have enough talent on defense to play how Mike Mack wants. I'll go through this whole first slide is all about that. True Drew Sports, back in it again. Number 1 must be the offensive line. The health and the play of the offensive line this year will make it break the season, make it break the season, or make or break the season.
Yeah.
If we can get top 15 play from this line and give Gino some time, the offense will be top 10, maybe top 5. I love an optimist. You can come back, mate. And Gary, agree with Bryce. Bryce made a comment earlier. O-line determines where this team finishes the season, and believe it's the weakest unit on the roster. Oh, Gary. Hope Huff and Grubb can mold them into a decent group that enables the team to not only give Gino time to throw, but also to provide a consistent run game. I want to see a 1-2 punch for K9 and Zach.
Yeah.
You know what? No notes. This is the level of chat that we get in our Discord. The guys, everyone that's in there, thank you so much for contributing. There's more to come, but you guys have hit the nail on the head. Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Yeah, 100%. I think if there's one area on a team that you don't mind having like a high average age, 28 to 30, 28 to 32, if there's any area, it's the offensive line and more so the offensive line than the defensive line, but the trenches in general. And we're doing something very unconventional in the Pacific Northwest in having such a young offensive line. You often sprinkle some talent in the draft into an experienced group of vets that are scheme fits for what you're trying to do. That's what the league does in general. We're not doing that. We are drafting and building a really deep unit of skilled, different offensive linemen, and very versatile defensive linemen, I think, is the key thing, because when you look across that line, there's a bunch of players that can play different spots. What we don't have is very specialized, experienced offensive linemen. That's what we're lacking, and I think that is the key thing that creates these opinions, which I don't think are wrong, by the way, but that's where this stems from. There's not an established bunch of veterans inside that line. But you only have to go back a couple of years, and we had 2 rookie bookends, Abe Lucas and Charles Cross. We're now looking at them like they are essential key pieces of. So that's where we are as an offensive line, and that's why we end up with this kind of opinion, and it's 100% warranted.
Yeah,
but the talent is there.
I think it's going to be one of those. If I hope this coaching group stays together, because there seem to be a group of coaches that want to teach. And if you're going to take a brand new head coach and he has a coaching staff as he has, keeping them together to build a team philosophy to coach these players up to where you want them to be, either in a grub offense or in a Mike Mack defense. I love the fact that we kept all this youth on the O-line. It might be painful at times, but in a year or two, it'll start paying real dividends. I think this year you'll see some scrappy play, but I think it will start coming together. So next, here we go, Bryce. I think another big thing for this team and success will be a better efficiency in third down conversion, our conversion rate and red zone efficiency. We have been horrible for years, and tied to those will be our success running the ball. Yeah, true.
Agree.
Awful third down team. And then UK 12 man again. But yeah, even if that is the case, if we can show a clear identity and play tough, aggressive football, then I'll be happy. I think that's what we're all after. We just want a new identity. We had the identity with Carroll, but it sort of fell by the wayside because people weren't listening to the message anymore. And I think Mike Mack has got the buy-in from players that will start driving this. And then True Drew, another question thing to talk about is that we heard a few times about Rick Woolen traveling to both sides of the field. What that will be like, how often he does, I assume mostly just when Spoon moves inside. Go on, Mitch, I'll throw this over to you.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one because before we saw any preseason and camp and anything else, I was really suspicious that Rick Woolen might be a trade candidate because of being particularly difficult to put into disguised looks. Typically, if you put Rick Woolen on the perimeter, you look at that and a bit like when we had Darryl Taylor, you run the ball his side. You play a screen, you put the ball in a tight end's hand and you make Rick Woolen tackle him. You know that it becomes very difficult to disguise Rick Woolen, right? Because wherever he lines up, it's there's a weakness there, or a perceived weakness there, I should say, because it's not necessarily indicative of his quality last year. I think he had just a bad year, came in off an injury. However, if you have Rick Woolen following wide receiver 1, picking him up and covering him, stopping the quarterback, getting a quick release of the ball, putting the ball in the hands of, one of those key offensive pieces, it then gives the time for everything else to mesh together and the vision for how Mike Mack wants the defense to assemble after the snap. It gives the time for that. So I actually think that Rick Woolen will do a fair bit of following round wide receiver 1s for that reason, because his coverage skills are phenomenal. And let's face it, there was a large part of his rookie season where people were scared to put the ball anywhere near him in the air. So rushing a ball,
as well, though. That last season, people did not throw to him; they threw before him, and then he had to tackle people, and that was his downfall. I think with regards to that comment, the one game that's going to show how effective it's going to be is going to be the Miami game. If he's asked to follow Tyreek Hill and he does it effectively, it works. Yeah, if, however, he's asked to follow someone like Tyreek Hill and he just can't cope with it, that'll be back to the drawing board. What can we do with Rick?
Yeah, there's enough variation in what a wide receiver 1 looks like in this league for him to have a different challenge every week. I mean, covering a taller, more physical wide receiver or an explosive tight end, it's an entirely different prospect to keeping up with Hill. But I take your point. If you can mix it with the NFL's best player, as voted by his peers,
Yeah.
you're not doing a bad job.
Exactly.
So we'll see.
Right. So True Drew Sports again. Noah Fant's utilisation will be interesting. I hope they use him more outside than in line. Agreed. Having him line up outside of DK could create some nice mismatches. He is one of the most athletic tight ends we've had in Seattle, and I'm not discounting Jimmy Graham here, but I think by the time we got him, even though he was productive, he wasn't the same physical specimen. One of the most athletic tight ends we've ever had in Seattle, or at least for the last sort of decade, nearly. I think he's massively underutilized in Waldron's schemes and Waldron's plays. I think this could be a really good showing for him. What do you think, Mitch?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, Noah Fant. I think everyone wants it extends further than Noah Fant, in my opinion. Like, our utilization of tight ends in Grubb's offense is a fascinating factor. However, Fant is the sharpened tip of that spear, and we all want to see him, especially with the money we're paying him. We want to see him justify that and more. Yeah. And also, the big extra feel good factor there is that he is a remaining remnant, or the final remaining remnant
of the Russ trade.
Yeah, if we can turn Fant into an absolute stellar pickup, it further makes the Broncos feel bad. In fact, what a first
yeah.
game.
Let's do it on Sunday. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah,
agree with that. Gary also super intrigued to see how Durde evolves in his role as DC. Will he be making defensive calls by the end of the season? Well, I think the word from Coach Mike was that he'll be calling defense, at least for the majority of this season. And as Mitch alluded to earlier, as if you read Charlie's article, with the way Durde teaches, the way he breaks down a scheme, I wouldn't be surprised if sort of 3/4 of the way through the season, if this defense starts rocking, Durde starts calling the defense. Because I think Coach Mike has got enough trust in him and has seen his coaching style, his teaching style. He may go, you know what you're doing. Have that.
Well, if Bryce's 30-10 prediction comes true, Durde might get the last quarter. Just throw him garbage time. Let him. Wouldn't that be good if we start seeing that? You earn if the game goes well enough, Durde gets the fourth quarter. I love that.
Couldn't be worse than Carl Scott's called him. That was diabolical. That was let's not go over old ground. And a couple more. Gary, I apologise if I'm reading these really slow. I've not got my glasses on. Hope is that the Seahawks will have a defense that can stop the run and provide consistent QB pressure. Amen. And can tackle again. We've addressed that. See, Gary, me and you, Unagi, sir. Bring that noise back to Lumen and give the 12 something to get behind and excited about. Would love to have a dominant D that no one wants to face. Agreed. I want a Seattle D to be held in the same regard as the Ravens D was last year, but eclipse those figures because they were top in pretty much every single metric. And I think give it a year or two, once Coach Mike's got his teeth in properly, I think it could happen.
Yeah, agree.
And then UK 12th man again. You can tell we've got some silent partners in our Discord, can't you? And then we've got some that are always in there. So if you're watching this and you've got something to say, jump in our Discord, and by all means, we'll be doing this every single week, so you guys can have your say. Hopes for the season. I want to see us start. I've already done that one. Why is that coming back? Sorry, just bad editing there. Here we go. Leo. I'm actually curious to know, what do you guys think about this? So we'll drop this out to everyone that's in the comments as well. Let's say this team surprises a lot of people. Grubb's offense is on fire and the defense improves a ton. How do you think Seattle will approach the contract extensions of DK, Gino, Woolen, etc. if they're all on fire, especially taking into consideration our cap situation? It's a very, very good question.
Yeah, that is a really good question. And I think if you look at that group of players, the two that stand out for me are DK and Woolen, and it's mostly because they are unicorns. They are a blend of freakish athleticism and skill, whereas Gino is. I don't want to say replaceable because it feels like I'm throwing shade at Gino. I'm not. Gino is a really serviceable QB. He's a good scheme fit for what we're doing this year, and he's a veteran presence in a team that's experiencing a lot of change. He is very much valuable to this team. However, when you're extending people, when you look at the amount of money you have to pay them, you have to surely look at what they're bringing over the period of that contract and how replaceable they are. And when I look at DK and Woolen, it is extremely difficult to get another one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Gino is a upper mid tier quarterback in this league. He'll hover in most people's opinion between 10th and 15th. And if you're a crap media personality, you might stick him somewhere closer to 20. And we've seen a lot of that this week, so let's not go into it. I think Gino's replaceable. DK Woolen are less, and it entirely depends on the money they want. But
cool, you're gonna get some hate. You're gonna get some hate for saying that Gino's replaceable. There is. I mean, don't get us wrong. We love Gino. He's a great player, but I think to caveat everything and basically what Mitch was saying, if you're looking at Mike McDonald's 6-year contract that he's got with the Seahawks, if you're going to extend players, you want players that you can extend to go with Mike Mack. That's not saying that Gino can't. Everyone said he's not got a lot of tread in his tires, but unfortunately age comes to everyone. And at some point you have to start looking at quarterbacks of the future. DK has still got at least 6 years. Well, I say at least 6, probably at least 4. And then a couple more as a runoff. Woolen has got at least 6 years of, top class play. Then you've got to start looking further down the line. We've got your Devin Witherspoons, you've got all those players as well. You've got Charles Cross that you need to extend. Personally, I'm hoping that we get a new ownership that has got very deep pockets to allow people a massive signing bonus that will not count towards the cap. A la who's just signed their newest contract? I can't remember. That's going to
around the league.
Yeah,
Pat
Surtain. That's it. Oh yeah, okay. For the Denver Broncos. So Surtain's just signed a new contract, and the best part of his contract is that the majority of it is upfront signing bonus, so it doesn't count. Or I can't remember what it was. Doesn't count against.
It spreads across the full.
That's it.
The full term of the contract.
Yeah. So it's going to be an intriguing one to watch, and there's going to be some business moves made, I think. So some Seahawks fans may have to shed a tear for their favorite player. I think some of them are going to be safe, but I will always buy a 12 jersey as opposed to a player jersey for this pure fact that I can love someone, and because it's a business, they all move on. Ryan, I hope that Grub utilises the elite receiving core we have, as well as K9. KW3, Ken Walker III. Ryan, just say K9. Such a good all-round running back, agreed. Defense, I think Mike Mack will make us into tough, hard-hitting defense. Yeah. Worry, again, has to be the O-line, new faces, but I'm not sure it's even a top 20 O-line. Maybe if we use motion more this year, it can negate our frailties on the line. Yeah, we've addressed that point and I kind of agree. Here we go. Mitch, it is my favourite question to end this. A little bit of fun. We'll get through some of your comments as well. We're over our usual hour, but I don't really care. It's a Friday night in the UK. So from our friend, UK 12th man, lockdown cornerback, in the Discord, and I'm going to open this up to everyone. Would you rather fight 10 Tyler Lockett size DK Metcalfs or 1 DK Metcalf size Tyler Lockett? This is the 10 small ducks or 1 giant duck conversation, but with DK and Lockett. I know what you're going for.
Oh yeah.
Can I just pull this up as well? I only asked the big questions.
Yeah, and it is the key question that's on the tip of everyone's tongue before our Broncos game. So, I mean, the obvious answer is to fight a DK Metcalf, 1 DK Metcalf sized Tyler Lockett, because Tyler Lockett is a polite, respectable.
He just fall down before you hit him. So
softly spoken bloke. So having a really big, nice bloke versus 10 gobby, smack talking,
jacked. Like it'd be like Snow White and the 10 jacked dwarves.
Yeah, it's such a contrast.
Minds digging out with their hands.
One big quiet guy versus 10 really noisy, yappy Jack Russells. Like it just, yeah. I'll fight the DK Metcalf size Tyler Lockett.
Like I said, like if with Tyler, if you was the size of DK, you'd go to throw a punch and you fall on the floor anyway before you even got hit, so it wouldn't really matter. Fight would be over before it started. There you go. There's your answer. Anyone else? If you can hypothesize why it might be different, by all means, let us know. Right, before we leave the pod tonight, let's just quickly go through. So Gary is 1 DK size Tyler Lockett all day. DK's a beast, he said as well. I'll just go through some of these comments from you guys. Thank you so much as well for everyone joining in. It means so much to us. We just love chatting to you guys. Unfortunately, we can't get to everything because you guys put so much in the chat, but we do love it. Right, where are we? So True Drew made a good point. George Fant, Connor Williams and Laken Tomlinson are all established vets and provide guidance for the young guns. I agree. I think they're going to be huge to their development this year, even if they keep them for 1 year and then they move on after doing their player coaching stuff.
Farrah Brown being an extension of that as well, I think.
Yeah, I think Farrah Brown's there to coach AJ Barner into how to be the type of tight end that we need. Another one of your guys, Mitch. Let's have a look. Here we go. Woolen, DK, K9, Gino, Howell, Trey Brown will all be looking for extensions next offseason. True. There's going to be some balancing of the books going on, guys, and I think we all need to be prepared. And again, from True Drew Sports, they'll be able to manage the cap through all the extensions, backload some of the contracts to balance out next year's cap. But then if you're going to backload or you're going to push it all, like kick it down the can, are you going to end up like a New Orleans Saints where they are screwed? Who knows? Gary, most GMs plan 5 years ahead, so it makes sense to keep DK and Woolen over Gino. Agreed. And then Bryce, my guy. He agrees on Gino. Eventually, they'll need to go get a young QB who will allow more flexibility with the other players, very much what Seattle did with Russ when he was on the rookie deal. Yeah. I mean, with that, Mitch, I think that's the pod.
That's
anything else? Anything else you'd like to discuss before we depart, sir?
No, we did this pod to revel in the hype, right? And what's really helped with the hype is the fact that so many of our regular listeners and fans are here with us, contributing in the comments and interacting with it. So thank you very much, guys. And we've got a whole season of post-game breakdowns and great guests and loads of great stuff going on in the Discord and on socials. So continue to enjoy it with us. And go Hawks, really.
Go. That was nice and easy. Well done. I said well done, like giving me a pat on the head. I apologise, sir. But yeah, our next pod will be out on Monday. We are recording with Mr. Jackson Bevers of Cigar Thoughts. If you've not checked that pod out, check it out. Jackson is amazing. We're going to be recording it around about 6 p.m. We won't be live, but it just means I've got to try and get a rum to have with Jackson with his whiskey at 10 a.m. his time. It's a hard life. But we'll have that out. It'll be all over our socials. We'll make sure we post it as soon as it's live. If you want to know when it goes live, you can just subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That massively helps us. It helps people sort of see us. It helps us up in these algorithm things that I don't know about. But yeah, feel free, subscribe, share. If you do want to try Wraith Energy, go to Wraith. Again, look at this. What have I done? It was going so well, and I changed all the layouts. If you want to try Wraith Energy, go to wraithenergy.com. Anything that you buy, just use the code 12talk at checkout. You'll get 10% off. That helps keep the lights on here, and 25% of anything that comes to us goes to the Robin Cancer Trust as well. And we're going to be really pushing that. And finally, if you've not, join the Discord. Yeah, you got the wrong side then. Yes, it's not just me. Damn it. That's part of the course for me. It's standard every single pod. But yeah, you can get in the Discord. We can talk to anyone, basically everyone that's commenting on this pod are a member of our Discord, and we thank them so much. You guys are amazing. We want more people in there. It's a community. If you want to appear on the pod, send us an email, get in our Discord, send us a DM. You can slide in there. We always check them, and we'll be happy to have you on. We've got games. Reviews are filling up rapidly at the moment. So if you want to get on, let us know. We've currently got Seahawkers from Canada. I think we've got the Czech Republic coming up. We've got some UK Seahawkers. We've got some podcasters coming up. Hopefully some ex-Seahawks players are going to come on as well to help us out. And last but not least, if you haven't, check out the RCT. There you go, Robin Cancer Trust. We are going to be supporting them all season and helping spread awareness, because it's a huge thing. People don't talk about it very much, but we're passionate about it, and we think everyone should be too. Go onto their website, check out how you can help raise awareness. They do fantastic fundraisers. I think tomorrow they're doing a Monopoly walk around London, all wearing giant testicles.
Amazing.
There's a very fun one coming up that I'll announce when they announce it as well. But apart from that, I just want to say thanks very much. And Mitch, would you like to join me in a Go Hawks?
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.